everyone, it's Saturday evening, and we are back with my series of COVID Warriors. To everyone who's watching today, this is going to be a very, very monumental, series. One of the most coveted episodes, I would say, because there's going to be a lot of interesting things we are going to talk about. The most important and the most interesting thing today will be that we will talk about people. We will be bringing forth warriors who've been in the war footing in the most affected city of India, Mumbai. Like they say, Amchi Mumbai. Mumbai is the financial capital of India, and not only that, Mumbai is the city of dreams. But this city of dreams was the most affected in the whole spectrum of things, and the cases still seem to keep going up. I was just talking before going live today with our panelists who joined me today about how Mumbai and New York are so similar, and like people call and people say that actually in India, Mumbai is the New York of India, right? So let me take this opportunity to introduce the three amazing panelists that I have today, and they all have one thing in common, or rather two. They're all from Mumbai, and they're all associated with one of the most coveted organizations of India, and indeed one of the oldest, RSS. Today, we're also going to be talking about how this organization and its ideology motivated the young and the old and the entrepreneurs and everyone alike to come forward to help India during this time of crisis. Without much ado, let me take this opportunity to introduce my panelists today. Vishalji, thank you so much for being with me on this Facebook Live of COVID Warriors. Vishal Tibrewala is one of the most renowned industrialist and entrepreneur. He's also been with the RSS organization for a very long time. He's associated with very, very important projects and NGOs, which I will let him talk about. But one of the most coveted one is the Green Project, and he's going to touch upon it today. Also, please know this is Vishalji's first Facebook Live. So very, very, very warm welcome. It's my honor and my absolute pleasure to host you. My second panelist today is Ashish ji. Ashish ji also is not only from Mumbai, but also has RSS in common. He's going to talk about how he ended up with RSS as a part of the legacy. And I was just sharing with Ashish ji that my grandfather, my maternal grandfather, was with RSS, and he will share his story, his work. He is not only a very, very coveted professional, well known in the Mumbai circle, but he's associated with some really, really important and innovative projects that he's going to talk about today. And the most young of all panelists today is Shraddha. And Shraddha is, again, a Mumbaikar. She joined RSS at a very, very young age, and Shraddha will tell me her story about that. Not only that, Shraddha was one of those people who were in the slums of Mumbai, while most people across India were sitting at home during the lockdown. She was amongst the COVID patients, helping them, being by their side, protecting them, and she's going to tell us her story of how she did that. By the way, Shraddha is in the medical profession, and she is a musculoskeletal physiotherapy specialist. Correct me if I'm wrong, Shraddha. So with that, welcome to all of you again, and I'll start with Vishalji today. Vishalji, tell us a little about your journey. Tell us how Mumbai was facing this serious pandemic and managing everything at the same time. Tell us how RSS's ideology, how its value system played a very, very important role in the work that you do. Also share about the NGOs that you run and you're associated with. All our viewers would want to know. Thank you.
So, see what happened is that once this pandemic started and the lockdown was announced, so the news started coming in that people are facing issues with the food and the ration kits. So we started contacting our local RSS team. So like Mumbai is divided into 24 wards of MCGM.
Mm-hmm.
For BMC, which we call it MCGM, has got 24 wards in Mumbai.
Right.
And for RSS, we have about 16 centers in Mumbai. So we have divided Mumbai into 16 parts.
Mm-hmm.
So every part has one, we call it the Karewa, who
Right.
manages that area.
Right.
So we started contacting them that where is the problem with the food coming in. And then we were approached by MCGM. So what we did is we started actually transferring money to the local ration card, local dealer, who
Mm-hmm.
in turn our volunteers would go and make a proper report that who are facing issues, and the
Mm-hmm.
ration would be given directly to them.
Right.
But then we were see the NGO which we are running through Keshav Sisti Migrant Society.
Mm-hmm.
We are working very closely with BMC.
Mm-hmm.
So we have done about 22 city forests in Mumbai. So our aim is to make Mumbai a carbon neutral city.
Right.
So since we were working very closely with MCGM, we were approached by MCGM. So we are working with their toilet projects in Mumbai. We are working with MCGM on all different cards, waste
Mm-hmm.
management. So we have covered about 5,000 societies in Mumbai to convert their waste into compost. So
Mm-hmm.
MCGM, where we are very closely associated with. So they raised the point that uh, across Mumbai, ready food is a shortage.
Right.
So I think in about 72 hours, we created one by one about 34 kitchens across Mumbai, and in within 5 days of lockdown, about 25 were operational, and in another 5 days we had another nine operational. So we and the total meals which we started making into this 34 kitchens were close to 1,25,000 meals a day.
Mm-hmm.
So, as I said, it was a very well choreographed efforts. Like the kitchen which I am managing in Mumbai, in Andheri.
Right.
So there used to be about 60 RSS volunteers would come in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have got a total like a system wherein you divide into small groups. So every group would be given assigned a task that somebody would take care of the kitchen, somebody would take care of the ration division, somebody would take care of the people who are coming up in the lines.
Right.
So you won't believe that people are still in that monsoon, the Nisarg.
Mm-hmm.
We said that we will not be serving the food, but
Mm-hmm.
even then there was a queue of about 400 people ready to take food.
Wow.
So the migrant laborers we could see that every day this is becoming a problem. So we
Mm-hmm.
kept on increasing the numbers. And all these 16, as I said, the Mumbai is divided into 16 parts. So
Yeah.
every Kareva of that
Mm-hmm.
particular area would come up with a set of volunteers early morning. We say we start at about 9:30. So
Mm-hmm.
8:30 or 8 o'clock, the group of volunteers, RSS, would come, divide themselves into a small teams, a team of three, team of four, team of five, and
Mm-hmm.
then we would straight away head to the job. So see, uh, there is a punchline. हम लोग when we go to RSS, our shakas, हमको
Mm-hmm.
एक लाइन सिखाई जाती है, एक गीत है हमारा
Mm-hmm.
कि
Uh-huh.
देश हमें देता है सब कुछ, हम भी
Mm-hmm.
तो कुछ देना सीखें. So
Right.
that's our punchline. And then just to tell you about a little, this is little personal, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So when I started all of this, two of my sons were in USA
Okay.
and studying there and finding it difficult to come.
Wow.
Mom and dad were actually quarantined at Lonavala because they had gone there, so they
Oh,
can't come to Mumbai. So we celebrated my mom's birthday on this kind of a video, this and our 70th birthday.
right.
But for us, it is very simple. When you get a directive from the top that you
Mm-hmm.
have to take the responsibility of a project, then
Mm-hmm.
you don't see the personal issues. That has been the annual, like every day, like in from our kitchen in Andheri,
Mm-hmm.
which was I was given the responsibility to run. We were making about 30,000 meals a day, and
30,000.
we were meals, yeah, and out of which 25,000 were packed meals.
Right.
So about 75 RSS volunteers, 70 days. That's what. Uh, so in overall Mumbai, we served about 6.5 million meals.
Right. 6.5 million meals so far.
Yes,
मतलब इतने
and
लोग
counting.
and counting. So, you know, before I go to Ashish, just want to know, like, you said your two sons were, आपके दोनों बेटे जो है वो US में हैं, your parents were in Lonavala, they were in a lockdown, and you were still at it, looking at these people, ensuring their food was taken care of, ensuring the kitchen was functioning. Did you fear for your life? Did you fear for what is going to happen to me? How will I manage all this? Where did that strength come from, Vishalji?
This strength comes in when you see 70 people,
Mm-hmm.
70 of my RSS volunteers, my team members, coming in from different walks of life.
Mm-hmm.
एंड वो जो भी घर से निकल के आता है उसको लोग पूछते ही है ना, तुम कहाँ जा रहे हो और क्यों जा रहे हो।
Correct. Correct.
लेकिन ठीक है, हमारे संस्कार ऐसे हैं कि हमें कोई नहीं पूछता, पता है कि ये जाएंगे ही।
Correct.
So that you get strength when you see 70 of my brothers coming in. And
Right.
not only that, you know, I'll just to tell you one anecdote
Mm-hmm.
before I finish. So when
Right.
we first started the kitchen in my area, in
Mm-hmm.
the kitchen in our area,
Mm-hmm.
so we were struggling to get the ration.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you nearly don't know. People like me don't know what is rice, what is dal, what is tur dal, what is moong dal.
Yeah.
So there was a lady in the afternoon. She came and she said that, Beta, I have got only 5 kgs of rice and I understand that you are running a kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
Will you accept this 5 kg of rice?
Right.
So that was like, people have walked in uh, the kitchen where we are
Yeah.
working.
Yeah.
People have walked in with 5 kg of rice, 25 kg of rice, a donation of 500 rupees. He said,
Right.
please, you're doing a good job.
Yeah.
So that keeps you going. That
Crisis brings compassion, and compassion can
yes,
cure anything, right? वो बोलते हैं ना कि
yes,
अगर इंसानियत उभर के तभी आती है जब सबको ऐसा कुछ होता है हमारे साथ, कि लगता है कि शायद यही मौका है हमें बाकी सब कुछ भूल जाना. Let's forget everything else. Let's come together because we are fighting to save humanity, right? And I want to
yes,
come to
yes,
you. I want to come with that to you, Ashishji. Ashishji, you are a very very senior professional. You've done your MBA. You've been in the human resources side of things for years. You are so accomplished. You have a family. You have a fraternity. And then you have the brotherhood, right? That they say with RSS. And I don't think it's just brotherhood; it's sisterhood as well. 95-year-old organization going strong. I think it's turning 95 on September 27th, if I'm not wrong, and it's a monumental year for RSS. And you guys, आप लोग सारे मुंबई कर बोलते हैं ना, the spirit of Mumbai brings people together. Ashish ji, I want to know from you. One, how did you end up in this organization? Two, what were some of the serious issues that you were seeing, challenges that you were seeing during this time? I want you to talk about that. Mumbai was in like a huge crisis, right? The maximum number of cases and still increasing. Please share some of the your learnings, your work during this time, and how you've been helping save Mumbai.
First of all, I'd like to thank you, Shom, for inviting me over here. Lockdown days are something that has given lots and lots of memories.
Yeah.
As far as my association with RSS is concerned, as I told you, it has
Yeah.
come as a legacy.
Yeah.
My father is also associated with RSS.
Mm-hmm.
So I started going to RSS shakas when I was maybe 4 or 5. So
Mm-hmm.
whenever somebody asks me what's your Sangha Ayu, that's how we call it, that the period for which somebody is associated.
Right.
So as much as of my age, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So I have different as we give our introduction. We say that we are working somewhere, then we have our personal life, then we
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
corporate life, social life. Among
Yeah.
all these, I take a lot of pride in telling all the time that I'm a part of RSS. I'm a Swamsevak for now
Yeah.
as long as 40 years, and that's one of the most biggest accomplishment of my life, I would say. As far as this pandemic situation is concerned, in RSS, we are basically trained, I would say, all the time. We go for 1 hour shakha. In this shakha, which is typically in the morning or evening,
Mm-hmm.
we work upon various aspects of personality development, which includes
Mm-hmm.
your psychological, physical aspects, and so on and so forth.
Right.
And as Vishal said at the beginning that देश हमें देता है सब कुछ हम भी तो कुछ देना सीखे. I would say one line I'll add over there. We believe in Rashtrahit Sarvopari.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, before even God, our first God is our nation. That's what we believe.
Yeah.
And hence, whenever there is any crisis or
Right.
any situation whenever there is any help is expected, we are there without anybody calling for it. That's
Yeah.
something that comes to all Swamsevaks naturally.
Mm-hmm.
And Mumbai is Meri Jaan. I'm born and brought up in Mumbai.
Yeah.
Many challenges we face in Mumbai. We keep talking about its busyness or traffic or any other various aspect basically.
Mm-hmm.
In this situation, actually, a lot of such things which we generally used to pray for, we got it, but in a very, it has no that positivity along with it. Say, for
Right.
example, I used to spend about 3 to 4 hours on a roads in traffic.
Mm-hmm.
Now there is no
Correct.
traffic at all on the road, but it is not very pleasant sight.
Right.
We used to take pride in saying that Mumbai city never sleeps.
Yeah.
Now you go out about 8 p.m. and you will see totally deserted roads and everything is so shut that it looks very negative kind of overall
दुख होता है, right?
situation.
That spirit of Mumbai is
Yeah.
missing.
Somewhere that charm of Mumbai has gone, though there is a environmental positivity. I mean, some good aspects has come out because of the overall situation, but it has not that positive, energy basically.
Mm-hmm.
As far as our reaction to this entire pandemic is concerned, uh, 22nd March, Sunday, I think entire nation observed Janta curfew.
Right.
And immediately next day, this lockdown was announced. Everything was shut down,
Mm-hmm.
and we got a call. Couple of volunteers got a call from
Mm-hmm.
municipal corporation.
Mm-hmm.
If you can organize certain breakfast and snacks kind of, because all eateries, hotels, everything was shut down.
Right.
And we organized that. We got into that, made us think that a lot of people in city are dependent upon hotels and eateries,
Yeah.
and we will require some sort of arrangement to take care of these people.
Right.
So what we did, we quickly got into meeting over a digital platform and
Mm-hmm.
did brainstorming, identified various areas where we will require to start our services, and we decided and we got into preparation.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how we started overall work. As Vishal rightly highlighted, we were ready in
Mm-hmm.
certain segment in 24 hours, and
Mm-hmm.
in certain sectors as these grocery kits and all that, over there we were
Correct.
ready in 72 hours. That was
Wow.
our response time.
72 hours. That's it.
Yeah.
Yep.
How many people, Ashish ji, was working day and night to ensure that the people of Mumbai, especially those in need, जैसे विशाल जी ने आपने बोला कि देश ने हमें इतना कुछ दिया है, दिस इज टाइम फॉर अस टू गिव बैक टू आवर कंट्री, और ये हमेशा देखी गई है कि दिस इज बीन not only during big crisis like corona, but even during small crisis. But tell me, how does all the channelization of these resources happen? Like इतनी जल्दी कैसे सब कुछ हो जाता है?
So, for us, this is no surprise, to be frank. We are now, as you rightly said in the introduction, 95-year-old organization, and this is the organization which is only now continuously growing, world's largest voluntary organization.
Yes.
So Seva is something that comes to us naturally.
Mm-hmm.
We have certain structures in place, which is
Mm-hmm.
basically requirement of any organization.
Mm-hmm.
However, the good part is our volunteers, we call them Swamsevaks. So people
Yeah.
who are basically on own with
Yeah.
certain inspiration energy has joined.
Right.
So these people basically they do not wait for someone to call them and give some instructions.
Mm-hmm.
They are ready all the time on their own. They keep assessing the situation. They know what is need of our,
Mm-hmm.
and they
Mm-hmm.
respond.
Yeah.
Of course, as I said, because there is an organization, there is a structure, and we have in fact one very effective communication system, and that communication system is something that we call it person to person contact and heart to heart dialogues.
Right.
So on a very fast level, we got into these meetings also
Mm-hmm.
and mobilize resources. In
Mm-hmm.
fact, I like to share here that we are challenging people that please don't come out because these people
Wow.
are so full of energy,
Right.
and this is not any other normal situation where we were also trying to understand the security aspects, seriousness, medical
Mm-hmm.
aspects, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
information showing in social media and otherwise. And we had to also organize those security equipment for our staff, volunteers also.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
we have laid down those SOPs for volunteers while working so that they are also safe, which we did simultaneously very fast.
Right.
And we also decided that people who are above 45 to 50 age, we advise them to remain home. We also said if there are people with little medical background, they should also remain home. And we
Right.
said that people who are between 20 to 45 are preferably encouraged to come.
Mm-hmm.
And that started in Mumbai. We had close to 4,000 people who were active all the time, and depending upon time available, because people were working too, most of the people were working from home, so some people could give time in the evening hours, some people
Wow.
had businesses, they could give time in daytime. So all
Mm-hmm.
that was basically assessed, and accordingly the entire team got into action. So about 4,000 people were active, and because of our structures, discipline, practice, our
Right.
turnaround time was really fast.
You said it in so beautifully. आपने इतने अच्छे से बोला है कि the energy is uncontainable, and that's what the shakha does, right? Because when you are a Swamsevak, and the word sevak just sums it all, right? That you are devoted to the cause of the organization, and the cause of the organization is rising of everyone together during crisis. And like you said, the energy, and today I have my youngest panelist is Shraddha. And Shraddha, thank you so much for joining us. You actually exemplify that the notion that people have that RSS is a for a certain generation, and it is not necessarily for the youth at large, which I completely disagree, because I think RSS is driven by the youth, and like Vishalji and Ashiji said, they all joined when they were young, and for Ashiji it's his legacy. Is it legacy for you? That's my first question, Shraddha. Shraddha, second question is, you're in the medical profession. You knew the challenges that will arise if you were in war footing. You're one of those warriors, and I salute you for your devotion and conviction that
Thank you.
you were in the most what do you say, affected slum, the most affected area of the whole of India, which is the Dharavi slums, and you were there protecting people in your at your age, like forgetting everything, not worried about what's going to happen to you, but you were there in the war footing, taking care of people, providing them with supplies, ensuring that that their needs were taken care of. On one hand, the media was absolutely, the Luton media specifically was talking about how affected Mumbai is, all the migrants are suffering. But here you are, Shraddha, who was in the battlefield, not talking, not spreading, things which are not true, but you were there at the war footing. Tell us what was driving you to be there. What was the challenges you were seeing, and how were you overcoming it?
Okay. First of all, thank you so much for having me. This is a very different experience for me. So, answering your first question, is it a legacy for me? I'm not sure about that. This is the first time that I've been working with RSS.
Mm-hmm.
My dad is in the RSS since 4 to 5 years. So,
Okay.
when such an opportunity came up, to volunteer, and I
Mm-hmm.
asked him if I can go because as parents, they were a little afraid, me being out
Sure.
there on the ground level. So no, but he wasn't scared or anything. He didn't even ask me why do you want to go. He said go. So so yes, this is the first time I'm working with RSS, and You can say the full form is stands for Rashtriya Swamsevak Sangh, or you can also say it is Ready for Selfless Service, because
Right.
that is what I have experienced. This is my first experience or first time of volunteering with them, and that's what
Mm-hmm.
I saw. So, giving you a very brief background of what we did over there at the screening camps. This was our first batch, and it was the
Mm-hmm.
first time experience for everyone, not only for
Right.
the medical fraternity and but for everyone, even for the Swamsevaks.
Right.
And all of us were in the age of 20, 22, 23. Medical
Mm-hmm.
students were 20
Mm-hmm.
to 23, and the Swamsevaks, as you said, were all youth,
Yeah.
20,
Yeah.
25. Most of them were youth.
Yeah.
And if it was a scary situation for us, it was a more scarier situation for them to be over
Mm-hmm.
there and to be in such a area, screening with the PPE kits, which is not at all easy, because
Mm-hmm.
once you wear that PPE kit, you are completely. It's a difficult situation. You have worn your face
Very
shield.
difficult to move.
Yes, you have to move. You're sweating, and in the hot Mumbai weather,
Of course.
and plus you cannot have water. You cannot go to the washroom. So 4 to 5 hours being in the PPE kit, if that is a challenge for us medical students, so you can imagine for the non-medicos over there.
Yeah.
But anyway, our first screening camp was held in Andheri in Nehru Nagar slum area,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and we were around six doctors, six medical
Mm-hmm.
students. All of us were
Mm-hmm.
medical students, and 30 to 40 Swamsevaks.
Mm-hmm.
And uh, first day was very difficult for all of us. We
Mm-hmm.
did not know how to go about the situation, how to deal with it, because
Right.
for everyone, this is a very new experience. So
Mm-hmm.
we had to, keep everyone's spirit up. And I was, all the medical students were the team leader. So you can imagine being a team leader at this age, and
Wow.
having to, taking up the leadership skill was very difficult. But first day we managed to screen around 700 people, and
Mm-hmm.
every day it increased. The count only increased, and
Wow.
so I think at the end of 4 days, around 2,000 people were screened. And now there are six total batches that are going on at simultaneous time all around
Mm-hmm.
Mumbai, and medical students, Swayam Sevaks are involved in this.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel that why we took slums to
Mm-hmm.
first campus, because the awareness in those areas is very less about this disease. The
Mm-hmm.
very first day we realized that people do not maintain social distancing.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them do not wear a mask,
Of course.
and the taboo around the disease over there is very high. So also the hygiene level over there is very low. So that
Yeah.
is what we had to. It was a challenge for all of us,
Mm-hmm.
educating them, counseling them that you have to wear mask, you have to maintain social distancing from people. So on the
Right.
very first day, we tried giving our best. We tried counseling them, and on the fourth day, on the third and the fourth day, we realized that they are understanding now. So the number of people
Mm-hmm.
coming to screen also increased from 70 to 100 to 200. They wanted to get themselves checked. They
Right.
wanted to know that they are fine. So that was a very also on the fourth day, the
Mm-hmm.
people of the slum, they thought that they should thank us. So they came and they did our puja, which was a very good thing for us. We were very motivated with that. And apart from that,
Mm-hmm.
yes, the first batch, a few of the volunteers tested positive, but that did not deter
Mm-hmm.
that did not stop them from going ahead. So the second batch took place, and then after that, third, fourth, fifth were going around simultaneously. And now tomorrow we have a screening in
Right.
Paravi, which is along with 50 doctors
Mm-hmm.
and 100 volunteers. So I guess that's the biggest screening camp that will take place tomorrow, and it is a very commendable
Tomorrow?
thing. Yes,
Wow.
tomorrow,
Wow. So
and
we are able to do this with you before the biggest camp in India
yeah.
is happening. Wow. This is again monumental. So first session with Vishalji, the biggest camp, and we're doing just a session with you before that. Wow. Congratulations, Shraddha. This is phenomenal work.
Thank you so much. So
And yeah.
yeah.
No, continue. I want you to tell the story.
Okay, so yes, so even though the first batch, the people tested positive, still around 2, 3 batches, 4 batches were going on continuously. And
Mm-hmm.
yes, tomorrow we will be doing the Dharavi screening camp, and it is a very big thing because for us medicos, it's not we cannot say it's social service. It is our job to do this.
Yeah.
But for the Swamsevaks to actually come out, and people from the first batch are still ready to come and help in the seventh batch.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very
Mm-hmm.
commendable thing for non-medicals. So I would
Right.
really like to salute them all for being out over there and
Good.
helping us medical students
Yeah.
help the medical fraternity.
Absolutely. So we will leverage this show to actually salute all those volunteers who are selflessly working to protect those who are the most affected, especially the community, especially the slum dwellers, the migrants who don't have proper hygiene, sanitation, who don't have access to proper resources. That they are, you and the volunteers are selflessly working to protect them. And I think the toughest part is the screening and the testing, because that's when you contact the most disease from. And I'm saying this coming from a family of doctors, because that is the highest chance that you will actually contact the disease. Especially, whether you're wearing a PP suit or not, it stays on the surface. So you don't know how you're getting contaminated. So again, a big salute and a big thank you to be a COVID warrior, to be on the war footing. Despite your medical profession, Shraddha, what it takes is a lot of guts, a lot of determination, and a lot of selflessness to be able to do what you're doing. So I again thank you so much for coming and sharing. And as we move on, I want to know from Vishalji. Vishalji, one of the biggest worries has been that if you are above the age of 50, 55, then you are at a high chance that you contact this disease. Did that deter any of the Swamsevaks of that age to come forward? That's my first question. The second, when you're running a kitchen for such large proportion of such mammoth nature, to feed such large proportion of people, what are some of the daily challenges that you face? Because it sounds very easy, we are feeding people, we're taking care, but I want my viewers and those who are listening to the COVID Warrior series to understand the kind of effort and the kind of synchronization and the kind of work that goes into making that happen.
See, first of all, it was very clear that anybody with the above age of 55
Mm-hmm.
will not be coming. It
Okay.
was even anybody above age of 50, although
Mm-hmm.
we started getting calls from all our senior Swamsevaks that
Mm-hmm.
we want to come in, but
Mm-hmm.
we restricted their entry into the this area.
Correct.
And then, as I said, that it's a very well organized thing. So
Mm-hmm.
you have the biggest challenge to run a kitchen is the supplies.
Yes.
So there is a team of 4 people continuously monitoring, and I'll have to point out here
Mm-hmm.
the very good role done by the central government,
Mm-hmm.
because APMC was having supply issues
Oh,
because it was
yeah.
getting shut, it was getting opened,
Mm-hmm.
because the moment you get the COVID information कि कोई APMC में infect हो गया, so it will get shut. So
Mm-hmm.
I think by 5th or 6th day only, the
Mm-hmm.
Food Corporation of India, which is being controlled by the central government, they started giving directly rice and grain to the NGOs,
Mm-hmm.
which unfortunately is not being covered by any mainstream media. But
Mm-hmm.
running a kitchen on ground, I can tell you that if FCI would have not helped us with the ration supplies,
Mm-hmm.
and it was so easy, that you send a letter to them, and within 24 hours your approval used to come.
Oh, wow.
So getting the food from the FCI in terms of rice, and especially rice and wheat, the
Mm-hmm.
main ingredient,
Mm-hmm.
was the right. I would really thank Modi ji for taking this timely action.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, only on the APMC basis, things would have been messy in Bombay. And uh, then there is a supply chain, to move forward. So you have one group would take care of the supplies. So inventory would be taken every night. How many, and you have to run 34 kitchens. So inventory management, there is a central using WhatsApp. So you have a group managing the supply chain.
Right.
Then one group is managing the packing material. So,
Mhm.
as you said, it sounds simple, but to get in a lockdown,
Yeah.
the containers to pack food was a
Hmm.
challenge.
Right.
So again, we were lucky to have Swamsevaks into the trade.
Hmm.
So they opened up their offices and godowns in the middle of the night to give
Hmm.
us the containers.
Hmm.
So even before they came into the essential supply side, getting those containers to pack the food was a challenge. So, but it again, when you have got people and you've got resources and you've got team and you've got the passion to do it, things fall into the
Right.
right place. जैसा आशीष जी ने बोला कि and I would like to mention one thing here
Hmm.
is that when the volunteers go out in this kind of a pandemic time,
Hmm.
we we really salute the mothers because in Maharashtra we call Swamsevak mothers, we call them Jijau, as like Jija Mata, Shivaji ki jo mother thi.
Hmm.
So
Correct.
it takes a great heart for a mom to see his 20 years old son, as Shraddha was saying, to walk into a slum area.
Hmm.
So fathers can be little ruthless in their thought process because we are Swamsevaks. But I would really request to a big salute to all the Jija Matas of Mumbai who allowed their children to go out. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think you said it very beautifully, and I just saluted them. I said that not only, they say there's a reason women have two X chromosome, right? Because it's not only the ability to give life, but the ability to let go, right? And Shraddha would concur with that. That sometimes men are less emotional, but women are, because that happens when you have the power to give life in its physical form, and to see
yeah,
your children be in the war footing, whether it's your son, whether it's your daughter, they're out there, and you don't even, you know very well that there is right now no proper cure for this disease. People sometimes
yeah,
are asymptomatic, they carry the disease back home, they may necessarily never get it, but they will give it to others whose immunity is low. Indeed, like, I had swine flu about 2 years back when I was coming back from London, and my lungs are very weak compared to others, and I tend to get cough and cold all the time. So I was basically helping a lot of the migrants here with food and ration. And when I was going out, because like I shared before our discussion started, that we started making N95s and PPs because most of it was coming from China and they were expensive. We wanted to make things in India so that they're affordable. They can be given to people when they actually need it, and not depending on countries outside to provide. And most of the textile companies, most of the companies, factories which were shutting down, converted themselves into making PPs and N95s. So when we were going out and distributing, my mom's biggest worry was, what if something happens to you? I'm the only child of my parents. And the RSS Swamsevaks, who selflessly, day in and day out, and this only for me, it was few days. Here, they're doing it every day. So, like you said, it takes huge courage, huge selflessness for a mother to let their children go for war without knowing what they're going to come back healthy or not. So not only just a salute, but also a naman to them, because it, especially with Mumbai, which is the most affected city of India, just like New York is for US, they don't have those Swamsevaks. And I know for a fact that there are shakhas there which have actually gone and done more work than the New Yorkers themselves. So because a lot of people who are watching here should know that out of the 60 almost 60,000 shakhas, right? They're also spread
yeah,
across the world, right? There are shakhas at different corners of the world who have come forward helping non-Indians, and that's what selflessness is about. It's not just about your desh. I think RSS goes beyond our desh and looks at every desh, every human being with an equal spectrum and equal eye. So Ashish ji, with that, I want to ask you, there was so much of shortage of PPs, of masks that India faced, and with China using that as a weapon for economic war. How was Mumbai managing, really? Like, how were people managing in Mumbai during this crisis of lack of supplies, COVID supplies?
See, there were as many as 78 different NGOs which came together. I mean, as we
Mm-hmm.
started this relief work,
Mm-hmm.
basically what RSS did is it played a role of a aggregator where everybody came together. The
Right.
very good part of our nation is whenever there is a crisis, society stand for itself. I mean, we are never only dependent upon government.
Mm-hmm.
People help themselves, and in similar spirit, in Mumbai alone, as I said, 78 is the list of various NGOs that came together,
Mm-hmm.
and even safety material is concerned. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
be it mask, be it sanitizer, be it face shields and PPE kit. There
Yeah.
are different NGOs which got together. Now I'll share one very interesting information over here on the PPE kit related.
Right.
See, Jan Kalyan Samiti, Utkarsh Mandal, plus there is a Nana Palkar Smriti Samiti. These are the names. They contacted about 624 clinics
Mm-hmm.
in Mumbai because the moment lockdown was announced and most of the doctors also had to shut down their clinics because
Mm-hmm.
of overall certain guidelines and the challenges also
Mm-hmm.
because everybody wanted certain material to reach to them. So
Mm-hmm.
these NGOs, what they did is they contacted about 624 clinics
Mm-hmm.
and they provided them all necessary material, which includes N95 mask or be it your sanitizers or be it even PPE kits and every other material which is required for someone to start clinic back. And out of the 624 that they contacted, almost 80-90% people started. And availability of doctor is something that we all know how critical it is.
Mm-hmm.
Hospitals were anyway operational, certain. The government machinery, state machinery was active, but the normal screening for your
Right.
normal people that we face, we go to the local physicians and we need them all the time. So all those
Mm-hmm.
doctors again started their practices and clinics, and which helped
Mm-hmm.
city big time. Nirame
Mm-hmm.
Seva Foundation, I'm sure Shraddha knows it much better. They have also helped doctors in thousands. In fact, the
Yeah.
PPE kit number which were distributed are in the range of about 50 to 55,000 with, by
Wow.
these various NGOs which were active over there.
Right.
And even not only to doctors, I would just like to add over here, apart from medical profession, there were
Mm-hmm.
many other people who were active in transport. For example, BST buses or your ST, that is street transport, or even
Mm-hmm.
certain trains which were operational for labor movement. Even for these people, certain safety material as and when they approached or we realized that they are in need, we went ahead and wherever possible we reach out to them and given it to them also.
Right.
These all medical related material were handled by many NGOs that came together along with us in this
Mm-hmm.
journey.
So you're saying that people, not only just the Karyakartas, the Swamsevaks, even the NGOs came forward to ensure that the supplies were met with. And I know that there are a lot of factories in Mumbai who converted themselves to the manufacturing of PPs and N95 so that there was no lack of supply for the demand that was arising out of the crisis that Mumbai was facing. You said that, and with that, Shraddha, I want you to talk a little bit about the Sevankar, the organizations that you're associated with. How were they helping the medical professionals? What kind of support were you getting from them? And what were some of the things that you want to highlight, that especially for our viewers to kind of learn through that experience?
Okay, yeah. Yes, so I came through Sevankar organization. I got to know about this through Sevankar organizations. I've been
Mm-hmm.
working with them for the first time. This is my first experience with them. And
Mm-hmm.
yes, so basically what Sevankar does is it's an organization meant for medical students
Okay.
to to get to learn experience, to have experience outside, classroom learning, because
Yeah.
classroom learning is something that we all do. But apart
Correct.
from that, how to inculcate ethical medical practice and how to use it,
Right.
yeah, outside classroom learning is something that Sevankar teaches us. So all of us medical students were brought through Sevankar, as in 20 to 20-year-old medical students. They all came through Sevankar organization, and yes, we were very encouraged by them because on the second day, all of us. So basically, there was a shortage of medical students. There were more Swamsevaks than
Mm-hmm.
doctors, and we needed doctors
Yeah.
more. So on the second day, we had a Zoom meeting, and all of us
Right.
got an experience, got a opportunity to speak about our experience, and that helped
Okay.
many other doctors or many other medical
Mm-hmm.
students to come ahead. So
Right.
you can say
Okay.
we were given the opportunity as youth. We were given the opportunity to spread our experience, which is very important
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
the youth is the we know as the hope for tomorrow. And if
Absolutely.
we get
It's the
to learn,
backbone of our country.
yes, yes. So if
India
we
has
get
the
to
youngest youth population.
yes, yes. So if you get to experience such things at such an age, we
Right.
can, become better human beings and mold ourselves into something better. So that is how Sevankur helped us. And
Mm-hmm.
I would also like to say about, something about the Swayam Sevak. So
Yeah.
as I said, a few tested positive. And
Mm-hmm.
even in that situation, when they were in the quarantine facility,
Mm-hmm.
they were looking after other patients, and they
Mm-hmm.
were, boosting up their morale
Mm-hmm.
because being in an isolation is not easy. Being in an isolation facility for such a long time is not easy. So that is something that I wanted to highlight. Apart
Mm-hmm.
from that, I would also like to talk about Niramai Seva Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
They helped us with the PPE kits. They helped
Mm-hmm.
us with the N95 masks,
Right.
then the pulse oximeter, the
Okay.
thermal gun. Because what
Mm-hmm.
happens is that if your thermal gun is not working properly, then it
Mm-hmm.
shows you, it doesn't give you the right temperature, and
Yeah.
that
Right.
can lead
Yeah.
to problems. So we had that difficulty initially in the first day,
Right.
but on the second day, all of us got different two thermal guns and two pulse oximeters, so
Mm-hmm.
that we could, so that screening also could take place, because one thermal gun and one pulse oxy takes a lot of time for the
True.
measurement to show. So we got
True.
many. So that was one good thing for us, and
Mm-hmm.
then we also got gloves, because gloves we had to wear two gloves. One was not enough, so we had to wear
Right.
two. So that also was provided by them.
So you had to
And
wear like one glove over the other.
yes, yes. So we
Wow.
wear
I mean, these nitrile or latex, like because a lot
no,
of people
the
both
latex glove.
latex
Yes, yes,
ones. Mm-hmm.
yes, yes, yes. Because we have to wear two, so that while removing it, first we
Mm-hmm.
remove the PPE kit, and then we remove the glove, and then after that we remove the last glove, so that there's no
Mm-hmm.
chance of contamination or infection.
Correct.
So
Correct.
yeah.
And how long can you wear these PPE kits? So you ideally it should be anywhere between 4 to 6 hours. But were you guys, so how was it being managed, Shraddha? Were you in a location for, let's say, there were shifting times that they were, you were there for 4 hours and somebody else would come and replace you for another 4 hours. So how were you guys managing the cycle? Because it sounds like tumultuous amount of work.
Yeah, so yes, we had to wear it for 4 to 5 hours, and
Mm-hmm.
we were given a particular place. We had to sit in
Okay.
that place. There was a table,
Okay.
and there was a particular chawl, a lane, which we had to
Mhm.
screen for one day. And
Okay.
people used to come from that lane, and then we had to screen. So we didn't have to shift
Mm-hmm.
every day. But yeah, we didn't
Mm-hmm.
have to shift at every point, but every day we were at a different location. And that is
Mm-hmm.
how we managed to screen Nehru Nagar in 6 to 7 days, a population of 45,000.
45,000 people.
Yes,
Wow.
yes,
And you screen every single one of them.
yes, yes.
Wow. Kudos. Ashish, Vishalji, this is the kind of stories that we want to tell people, right? Like I always say that while there is crisis, like I said, crisis, compassion, cure. These are the three things that really kind of, builds people up during these trying times. But these are the stories that that Vishalji, Ashishji, and Shraddha, you guys are telling us that inspires people for the hope and the positivity that is there through this crisis, right? Like Vishalji is running such a mammoth, gigantic kitchen. Vishalji, there were so many stories about the whole migrant, challenges, migrant laborer challenges that was there in Mumbai, because Mumbai has the highest number of people coming for, like they say, it's a city of dreams because everybody gets an opportunity in Mumbai. There's a saying that nobody goes to sleep hungry in Mumbai, right? Like sabko
Right.
khana milta hai. Mumbai is the city of
सबको
dreams.
खाना दो. Right.
एंड आप वही वही कर रहे थे कि आप इंश्योर कर रहे थे कि सबको इस दौरान सबको खाना मिले. But there was so much of fiasco from the government, the state government, from the media about this whole migrant laborer challenge. I want you to throw some light. How much of truth is there from a ground level that you were seeing? Right? Was the challenge so deep?
The challenge was there, and I will not take away anything from BMC and any of the government agencies at this point of time,
Right.
because pandemics are not, we are not, you know, design, our systems are not designed to take care
True.
of pandemics.
True.
So to take away anything from the state government or to the BMC or from the central government would not be right,
Right.
because
Absolutely.
the system is not designed to work and function. See, I'll
Correct.
just give you an example. So, a construction site के अंदर you get
Mm-hmm.
migrant laborers coming in from say Odisha or Telangana,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the contractor actually houses them in there for 3 months or 4 months. तो
Mm-hmm.
उनको तो they don't even know the road out from that building.
Oh,
Now, if all of
wow.
a sudden a lockdown takes place, the migrant labor which is there only working into that building for 3 months, who
Mm-hmm.
even doesn't know where is the nearest ration shop,
Right. Right.
how would he manage the food?
True.
So of
True.
course the challenges were many, and I would not take away anything from any individual here.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was working. MCGM people were cooperative in their uh, own ways. The cooperation from police was doing very well. And as Ashish ji said, that all of a sudden you have got eateries which are going out from the system. You've got restaurants which are going out from the system. Now Mumbai has got about 20,000 laborers. They
Mm-hmm.
come and clean your city every morning, and they are dependent on the street food.
Mm-hmm.
So now, where would they eat their food?
Correct.
So yes, the challenges were from all corners, uh, and I think still Mumbai is going through a challenge,
Mm-hmm.
but uh, you have to
But
manage.
you have to manage. I know you say that, and Ashish ji, you are you're an expert in human resource. Besides all the great work that you do, and by the way, I want to say that each one of you, the number of people that are right now commenting and thanking you for the selfless work that you're doing to save Mumbai, not just Mumbai, the people of India who are in Mumbai is gigantic, and everybody is kind of saying that we're so proud of you. And I'm just getting like bombarded with messages because this is live on YouTube and on Facebook, and you all have tremendous amount of fan following, by the way. It's tremendous, and I think that comes whenever there is a selfless amount of work that happens. So Ashish ji, I want to ask you this question. uh, every state, especially the metros, their infrastructure, their work, most of the medium scale industries are dependent on migrant workers, right? Because migration is normal. Like I am myself a migrant because I was born in Kolkata. I came to Bangalore for my education, and in United States I'm a migrant too. So it's not like a tag only meant for a lower strata of people, which is something I want to break here today. That anybody moving, whether it's for education, whether it's for job, from any strata of life is a migrant. So now that most of the metros are so dependent on migrant laborers, we're seeing in Bangalore that we are sellers on Amazon and all of that, and most of our work is getting affected. There is not enough people in the warehouse to do fulfillment. My worry is now that all the migrants have been sent back to their specific hometowns, things are coming back to normal. How, what kind of economic impact it's going to see, because the metros, the large cities are all dependent on them. So what kind of an economic hit is going to take? Was it a right decision to send them back, or should there have been any other alternative way of handling this?
See, as far as this migrant issue is concerned,
Mm-hmm.
Vishal mentioned that their food arrangements were taken care.
Yeah.
We also got several calls. Basically, we had set up one sort of a call center,
Mm-hmm.
and that call center basically a helpline, and on
Mm-hmm.
which that helpline a lot of calls used to come, and the team used to forward that to respective region to take care.
Mm-hmm.
We got several calls from even such migrant people. Just
Mm-hmm.
to tell you, we gave about 1.6 lakhs, that is 160,000 kits of grocery. Each kit consists of about 7.5 to 8 kg. So
Right.
we gave about 13 to 14 lakhs kg of grocery food grains to these people. Now, when we started observing that people wanted to go home,
Mhm.
we again got in our meetings because it so happened that during this entire work, we used to have a lot of digital meetings and decide, give feedback to each other, what is happening, what needs to be done. So
Mhm.
when we started observing a lot of panic in these migrant people,
Mhm.
we thought whether we should do some counseling and all that. So I'll share one small experience quickly over here. I
Yeah.
spoke to about 6 to 7 different groups. I
Mhm.
stay in western suburb, which is entry point of Mumbai,
Mhm.
and many people used to come walking up to
Mhm.
the entry point of Mumbai and wanted to go out, and they were sent back by the police for considerable time.
Mhm.
Now, I spoke to about 6, 7 groups that what is it that you are up to? I mean, you have come walking and you are saying there's no transport and still you want to go
Yeah.
walking to your home, which could be 400, 500 kilometer. So
Yeah.
what kind of panic is this?
Mhm.
So what happened is basically there were a lot of images, a lot of videos which were in circulation in social media
Mhm.
about the medical conditions
Mhm.
in hospitals and all that.
Okay.
Now these people felt that if God forbid there is something happens to them, they
Mhm.
may not get treatment.
Okay.
So one person I asked him that why you want to rest. So he said my wife is in one state and she calls me 10 times in a day saying that you are alone over there. If something happens to you, they
Mhm.
will not be able to come over there, and nor nothing can be done in that situation. So they were so panicked that there
Right.
was nothing that anybody could have done. And
Right.
once we have seen the herd mentality, when
Mhm.
in one particular region, if you see 100 people going, then simply everybody starts. So that's how
Right.
it started.
Mhm.
We actually help them by providing medicine, by providing them grocery. We set up the help center for giving them even the medical certificate which was required for getting the e-passes, etc.
Mhm.
Whatever we could do, we did.
Mhm.
However, they were determined to go back. Now, yes, the city is dependent upon such people. I
Mhm.
mean, the numbers are not in hundreds and thousands, but I think the numbers are in lakhs basically.
millions.
Yeah. It's
And
big.
somewhere, when the situation comes back to normal, I
Mhm.
think these people will try to come back. That's what my take is.
Mhm.
Small scale industries which are dependent upon these people are definitely going to face some problem in a short term,
Yeah.
and we will be able to see that in I think span of about 2 to 3 months. But if the situation improves, because many of them are actually still in touch with their some of the friends which are still in city,
Mhm.
and if they feel that situation has improved, I think most of them may come back. That's my take on this.
So because you said it so beautifully that it's a temporary halt to this whole situation. Because yes, there were challenges and it happens, right? Whenever we go through crisis, we want to rush home, right? वो होता है ना कि home is where the heart is. So everybody wants to go back. Like चलो at least अपने लोगों के साथ होंगे. I'll be with my family, because everybody's worry is if something goes wrong, if something happens to me, what if I don't get to see them again? But when they're going to come back, my biggest, like, what my analysis has been over time is that when we see people going and coming back, and this is the travel, especially the biggest amount of pandemics, the surge happens during travel. As you know, even in India, it was the travelers who got the corona. They came from outside. That's how they were infected. So Shraddha, I want to ask you this. You, from being from the medical profession, that, like Ashish ji said, people are going to come back, but while they're coming back, what are the chances that they're going to get this disease, and that can lead to a rise? The reason I'm asking you this is, the chief of AIMS said that India is going to see its worst in June and July, and there is going to be a second wave. And my worry is the second wave will happen because of this travel. So you as a doctor, you as a medical, professional, what do you see? What do you want to share? Means, is it a myth, or something that we need to be wary about?
No, I do not think that it's a myth. You
Mhm.
have to be very worried about it because So I'm saying this now because I feel that it's important that even though we were wearing our PPE kits and we took all the precautions, I
Mm-hmm.
myself tested positive. So if
You
after taking
tested positive?
yes, I tested positive. So
Oops.
after
Wow.
taking all the safety precautions, taking all the measures, maintaining social distancing, wearing a
Right.
PPE, wearing a face shield,
See, that's
uh,
what I was talking about. Yeah.
tested positive. And
Yeah.
six of my teammates also tested positive. So if that can happen after wearing a PPE kit,
Yeah.
you can imagine that if the travel starts or if people start moving from here to there, the cases
Yeah.
are only going to increase. You
Yeah.
have to be very, very, very precautious. You have to be very careful about whatever surface you touch, or
Yeah.
what happens is people are not aware of how to use a mask for that matter.
Yeah.
You're not
Yeah.
supposed to touch the outer surface of the mask because that
No.
is where droplets or mucus of people
Yeah.
fall.
Yeah.
You're supposed to always remove the mask from the side. This is a
Yeah.
very simple and basic precaution, but people do not know of that also.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
wearing gloves is not always safe because what happens is when you wear a glove, you are bound to touch your clothes, and
Mm.
the infection can also go on your clothes. So all
Yeah.
these measures have to be taken, and I feel that that's not a myth that the cases are going to increase. You
Yeah.
can already
Yeah.
see the rise in cases.
Yeah.
Every day it's increasing by 8,000, 9,000.
Yeah.
So yeah, so
So Shraddha,
that's
you said you tested positive. Like it's like, what did you have any symptoms? Did you get fever, or was it mostly asymptomatic and then you had to be quarantined? The reason is, it's the first time I've had somebody on my show who tested positive, and you are a doctor and you're a frontline warrior. You are a Swamsevak, and you when you shared your experiences that, hey, no matter how much precaution you take, being from your profession, it can still happen with all that because, of course, exposure, right? You don't know how it's coming to you. What did you have symptoms like? How did you like decide to get tested?
no, so yes, we were about to be tested. We were going to be tested since it was a protocol that 4 days if you're screening, 3 days quarantine, and 7 day all the volunteers were going to be tested.
Mm-hmm.
Now, none of the volunteers, including me, were symptomatic. We did not have any symptoms.
Right.
So we obviously didn't think that we'll be tested positive.
Yeah.
And we got tested on 22nd of May and 24th
Mm-hmm.
of May. Seven of us tested positive. Throughout
Yeah.
our stay, none of us had any symptoms. We were still given the medications, the
Right.
protocol that we follow.
Mm-hmm.
And for 10 days, we stayed in the quarantine facility. So throughout our stay, not one of us developed fever, cough, or breathlessness. Our oxygen levels were always normal,
Normal.
and none of us had temperature. So
Right.
it is a scary situation because you never know who might be a carrier. Because
Yeah.
70%
Absolutely.
patients are asymptomatic,
Right.
5% patients are at risk, and those who are at risk are either the elderly or some people
Yeah.
who have comorbidities such as hypertension or diabetes.
Right.
So you have to be
Absolutely.
very careful because, as I said, anyone can be a carrier these days.
No, absolutely. And one of the things you said, because, my father was telling me the other day that about, we have to live with Corona. It's a given. And Vishalji, I'll come to you with that it's a given that half of, or more than half, at least 80% of the Indian population will end up getting the disease some way or the other. And Shraddha can vet it. A virus never really leaves your body. It just stays in a dormant state, right? It's always like that. The reason they give you the medicine is for it to not recur again. My I want each one of you to take 5 minutes for your closing statements today. The fight is far from over, Vishalji. What
Yep.
can the nation do to stand by each other during this time to ensure that we are fighting this together bravely, but also prudently, not foolishly? So, what are some of the things that you would like to share that we, our viewers today, the people who are watching, the Mumbaikars need to keep in mind? Also, how can they contribute towards the great cause and the mission that you all are driving? And I would want the same points from you, Ashish ji and Shraddha. So this will be our closing statement for this, what I call is one of the most wonderful discussions I've had, with people from such varied background, and talking about the reality of being a selfless Swamsevak. So Vishalji, will start with you.
So I'll say first is that trust the leadership,
Mm-hmm.
trust our Prime Minister. Uh, whatever the guidelines are coming, whether it is industry or of uh, the social life and behavior, The guidelines are coming, they are in place.
Mm-hmm.
Every individual must follow the guidelines.
Mm-hmm.
The very good thing which has happened is that Ayush Ministry has approved the arsenic album 30 as an immunity booster.
Yeah.
So in Mumbai, we forgot to mention that we have distributed for about 40 lakh Mumbaikars. So has been distributed with this medicine,
Mm-hmm.
and Ayush is now also working on to we will have to go back to our uh, the thought processes of living, as in the our value system of living, not no touches, no hugs,
Mm-hmm.
maintain the distance,
Yeah. Say
uh, uh,
namaste.
be, be vegan, uh, all those value chain system which we have been always discussing,
Mm-hmm.
that to keep your immunity, do your yoga on time,
Mm-hmm.
uh, try and be vegan. Uh, so everything and anything which has to do with your immunity has to be done. And
Right.
in RSS we say one line, as in Sajjan Shakti Ekatrikaran. So
Mm-hmm.
wherever there is a positive thought process moving on,
Yeah.
the positive people, as Ashish ji said, that 78 NGOs came together. So
Mm-hmm.
this is a long fight.
Yeah.
And as you also mentioned, that 80% of the Mumbai, India is going to get affected. But yes, if this also happens, the
Mm-hmm.
way to come out is where Shraddha was saying, that you have to remain in isolation. You have
Mm-hmm.
to learn to remain in isolation, follow your distance practices, help each other, hold each other's hand,
Right.
uh, immaterial of their social strata or religious
Mm-hmm. Affiliate.
or ideological differences.
Mm-hmm.
All this is pandemic. This is
Yeah.
not so. If this gets into sinks into your mind that we are talking about pandemic and not any other issue,
Mm-hmm.
I think we will be able to sail through.
I think you said it beautifully. I love the fact that you said positivity because, I believe that it's a state of mind that defines the state of body. I also like that you said vegan, and I say this on the show too. There was a time that, I wouldn't say I used to eat all meats, but I'm a Brahmin, but I'm a Bengali Brahmin, so we did eat a little bit of non-vegetarian, but my body suddenly started rejecting it after I had my first, like, a serious illness, swine flu. And today I'm completely vegetarian because it's just that my body doesn't take it anymore. And sometimes it's a sign, our that's not how human bodies are made. We sometimes do things which is not right for the body, and that's what reduces our immunity. And it's a great news, and I'm so happy you highlighted this on the show, that arsenic has been approved, and it is an immunity booster. And I remember watching a movie, a US movie, which is Contagion, where also homeopathy medicine, and it's so ironical, right, Shraddha and Ashish, that Contagion
Yeah,
exactly talks about this
yeah.
pandemic. Like, I'm like, how did they know? Or did the Chinese, for a change, get inspired by the Americans to create a bioweapon? But anyways, that's a different topic. Maybe we'll debate, discuss it some other time. But even there, the immunity booster was a homeopathy, non-allopathic medicine. So Ashish, I want your thoughts. I want your ideas. How do we tackle this in the forthcoming months? Precautions that we need to kind of undertake before I go to Shraddha, who's going to give from a medical perspective her viewpoints.
Yeah, basically, we are in fifth lockdown as of now,
Right.
and what I observed is first lockdown. Even the government machinery was extremely aggressive in imposing lockdown. We saw several videos on social platform where police were very, sort of very aggressive with people in order to, of course, ensure the lockdown, which was a need of hour at that time.
Right.
However, what I observed is by end of third lockdown and by the fourth lockdown in Mumbai, people were started running out of patience.
Mm-hmm.
And now we have seen suddenly surge in numbers in that area, which was sort of safe.
Mm-hmm.
So somewhere this entire conditions or situation is such that it is a test of patience. Number one.
True.
So somewhere what we need to do is keep that patience high. A, we have to compulsorily be very disciplined.
Mhm.
Somewhere we had to adapt to new normal. I mean, that's what now we are talking about. There are a lot of changes which every day we keep reading material, even on a social platform, or which is coming from different authorities.
Mhm.
We need to adopt those. I mean, be it safety related and otherwise. We will need to bring in several changes in our lifestyle.
Mhm.
That is also something that we will need to do.
Mhm.
I mean, we have been talking about that, be it Mumbai or be it Bharat, we are sort of very positive. At the beginning, I mentioned that we help ourselves. We are very
Mhm.
fast in adapting with the change.
Mhm.
I mean, people, I always feel that we are blessed with more young people in all over the world. We are the youngest force, which is the largest force in the world. So
Mhm.
I think we will adapt to these changes fast, and together we stand in any crisis. So if people keep their spirit high, they adapt to new normal, they keep their patience, they remain disciplined,
Mhm.
and we will sail through. I mean, that's what I feel. Whatever now currently the spirit being shown by entire country, if they
Mhm.
show that going ahead, I think we will tackle. In fact, our Virginia Sarasangachalik ji has said that sometime when you also face crisis, you also see certain opportunities.
Yeah.
I hope that as a nation, we tap those potential opportunities which
Yeah.
will come up maybe, and take it positively ahead. And somewhere I am positive about it. We will take it in the right manner ahead.
No, you gave a new definition to PDA. It's no longer public display of affection. It's positivity, it's adoption, and it's positivity, discipline, and adoption, right? So it's like it is like if you
Exactly.
stay positive, if you stay disciplined, and if you adopt to the new normal. I was jokingly telling a friend of mine that the fashion shows now will happen over Zoom, and the next big thing in fashion is masks, because all the big brands have pivoted and have started making masks. But Vishalji, Ashishji, and Shraddha, for me, this is an opportunity for India to actually become the destination make in India, which we have been talking about for years. If this time we cannot encash this opportunity and become the go to manufacturing hub, then we will miss the bus. Because we will actually maybe losing this opportunity to countries like Bangladesh, Vietnam, and Malaysia who are tapping into it. But India has the biggest potential right now to outbeat China with manufacturing. If you listen to what PM said, that local to vocal, and I add to that global, right? I think that is I say that every adversity has an opportunity, and you beautifully put it that new PDA is going to be the new norm, but discipline and adoption and positivity will ensure that we stay we sail through this challenging time. So Shraddha, from your expert medical advice, you're a frontline warrior. You've tested positive for COVID, and you broke a myth today. Not every time you have to get fever, cough, or any other kind of symptoms. And like Vishalji said, that sometimes it's based on your immunity. Ashishji said that the attitude, the adoption, the way you manage your life is important. What are your key pointers that you want our viewers to remember, and especially the Mumbaikars to remember from this episode today?
Yes. So as Mr. Ashish correctly said, patience is what we lack, Mumbaikas lack, because they are used to being on the run so much that
Mhm.
what we saw was initially when the virus started in March, the fear was this much you can say, and the
Mhm.
count was less. And as lockdown, lockdown 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, people started losing their patience,
Yeah,
and the fear went down, and the
yeah,
number of cases increased.
yeah,
And that is what is happening right now. People have
yeah,
taken it lightly, and
yeah.
because there's a lot out there that you don't need to be afraid of this disease. Yes, obviously you do not have to be scared. You do not need to
Mhm.
be fearful about this disease. But again,
Mhm.
we screened 75,000 people in a matter of 10, 12 days, out of which 750 people were quarantined. That is
Mhm.
just 1%. So you know the population of Mumbai is so much. So if you
Yeah.
are not going to be careful, if you are going
Yeah.
to take this lightly, on a light note, saying that this is not going to happen to me, because that's what everyone thinks, that ये मुझे क्यों होगा, right?
Yeah.
मुझे नहीं हो सकता है, and that's what
Yeah.
even I thought, and I still got it.
Yeah.
So
ये
that's
सब
what I
हो
would.
सकता है.
Yes, सबको हो सकता है, किसी को भी हो सकता है.
Correct.
So that's what I would like to say, that do not take it lightly. It can happen to anyone. And
Mm-hmm.
also, it's not easy to be in isolation, away from your parents, away from your
Yeah.
family, quarantine facility. There's a lot of uncertainty going in your mind. You do not
Right.
want to go through all that. There's a lot of mental pressure, not only on you, but also on your family members.
Right.
Also, there's a lot of stigma that is associated with this disease.
Right.
Family members, when someone tests positive, the building, the society, people, I would not want to say this, but there is a little stigma associated. People look down or look down upon you,
Yeah.
that
Oh yeah.
yes, so
Oh
if
yeah.
tested positive, that is not needed, because
Yeah.
it's disease, it's like a common cold, it can happen to anyone at such
Right.
time. And I feel that this is the only time we can be there for each other,
True.
because
True.
as educated people, we need to
Yeah.
understand that the family of the COVID positive person needs mental support more than anything
Yeah.
else.
Yeah.
And that's what I would like to say, that be there for everyone.
Yeah.
Maintain social distancing. I think that is the most important factor here.
Wash your
Maintain
hands.
Wash your hands regularly for 20
Yeah.
seconds.
Yeah.
And yeah, wear your mask. Do not take it lightly.
And
And
like you said, Shraddha said, take out the mask like this.
put a mask on
Don't
this.
touch the front of the mask. Yes.
That's very important. And
You know,
we
Shraddha, I, from Ashish ji to Vishal ji to you, like, I think the takeaways were phenomenal, right? Like, one, let's all come together, but don't get close to each other. Come together in spirit, in positivity, in discipline, in adoption. Let us all stand by each other. And Shraddha, Ashish ji, and Vishal ji, like you said, it's very difficult for people to be locked down. When you are in a lockdown, one of the very important things is to keep in mind is the mental state. A lot of cases of depression, a lot of cases of domestic violence, a lot of cases of different kind of things we've been hearing that people are reacting to. While you are in lockdown, while you are going through the struggle, please do not be in a hurry to get out there to start living your life. If you have a life, then you can live it. And most importantly, it is not just about you. All of us have aged parents, people who we may not know that we will end up giving this disease to. So don't, for a change, think about just yourself. Think about the nation, think about the society, think about the people you love. And this was one of the most amazing discussions I've had. And I can't thank you enough, Ashish ji, Vishal ji, and Shraddha. My Atman Naman and my salute to you all and to the organization, which is going to celebrate its 95th year, anniversary on September. Keep doing the great work, keep inspiring more people, and hope your stories keep coming out. And thank you for being a COVID warrior. Thank you for being a part of the series. Thank you so much. आप सबको मेरा आत्मन नमन और बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'll end the broadcast today. Everyone for listening. This was one of the most watched broadcasts we've had, and we've had some of the greatest warriors be a part of it. So support Mumbai, support the country, stay positive, wash your hands, maintain social distancing. Most importantly, keep a good state of mind. Thank you, everyone. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.